And hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you may be. I'm happy to talk with you for the next 40 minutes or so. And my name is Cassandra Joan Butler. I'm also a very proud member of the CIA. I love saying that. It kind of resonates with my Scorpio sun. That's the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. I am Agent 56. So welcome. Good evening, Mary Ann. Let us know where you're beaming in from, where on the planet you're coming in from. We're going to be talking about the astrology of the week and the upcoming week and just have a little conversation. And we're also going to be doing some spiritual messages. I am an astrologer I calculated it. I mean, a professional astrologer, like working with real people for 37 years, and also a medium. And so we'll do some mediumistic messages after we talk a little bit about the astrology. And welcome, Marcy and Peace. Hello, Louise from California. Hi, Marianne, beaming in from North Tonawanda. Yay. And if you don't know where North Tonawanda is, my other dear friends, it is in the shadow of Niagara Falls, but it has its own personality in its own right. It's a wonderful village outside of Buffalo, New York. Tennessee. Hi, Christy. Good evening, my friends. Hi, Marla. Hello there. Hi, Monica. And we have Rochester and Kenmore. Yay. And from New York, I presume. And hello to Deb from Michigan. So welcome, friends. Cosmic Connections along with you. Are you feeling a little, I don't know, anticipating the end of the Venus-Mercury retrograde? Oh my gosh, it's been a wild January, has it not? Last week we talked about the nodal shift. We touched on that. We touched on Uranus moving forward, going station direct. And so now this upcoming Saturday, and I'm using Eastern Standard Time because I'm not that quick to make the calculations for everyone. We're going to have a shift in awareness and consciousness at 3:46. That is on Saturday, the 29th of January, Eastern Standard Time, early in the morning, 3:46 in the morning. And as Venus goes direct, I think that I'd like to look at this as a narrative. Once upon a time, on December 19th of 2021, all of us started wondering what makes our life worth living, right? That's what Venus is about. Venus is the planet that has to do with love and money and abundance and joy and creativity and beauty. And as it went retrograde in this phase of its big Venusian journey in Capricorn, it was reminding us that we sometimes have to work to receive the goodies. You know, Capricorn likes to achieve things, right? So Venus in Capricorn is about respect, responsibility, and hard work. And as it's been going through its retrograde, it was stationing along with our beautiful sun on January 8th, and we had a Venus star point. So we're still in the midst of this very obvious Venus journey. But on Saturday, when it downloads and goes direct, it's my hope for each of you, where you find 11 degrees of Capricorn, that you'll sense and receive messages and awareness about how to go about the systematic, step-by-step organization of achieving your dreams. Because Venus is the dream. And Venus in Capricorn says, yeah, you got to have a strategy here. You know, Capricorn loves taking strategy and stepping step by step by step. 11 degrees of Capricorn, where Venus is going to be stationing direct on Saturday, is the Sabian symbol of pheasants. Pheasants, those lovely birds, they're often thought of as game birds, but pheasants, or any bird Sabian symbol, represents the idea of the messenger and the messages. So be open, my dear friends, for receiving a lot more concrete strategy from the universe as Venus goes direct on Saturday. And then we have to wait a little bit until the new moon and Mercury goes direct, and that is in our peripheral vision. That's going to be on Thursday the 3rd. Next week at 11:13, that's going to be Eastern Standard Time. But we'll talk more about the Mercury direct next week, and we'll also talk about the new moon next week. I want to focus in on the balsamic cycle, the balsamic phase of this Capricorn cycle tonight with you. I also want to remind you of some really cool offerings at the CIA, right? I know I'm on a lot of the CIA platforms, but maybe you're just stopping in, or maybe you're not yet a member. But if you're not a member, please join. The CIA has been a pivotal presence on the planet for astrology for many years. I'm not sure how many years exactly. I should know the chart. I know the chart is aligned with my chart offhand, but they're always having so many wonderful webinars and articles, and there's this wonderful combination of very soul oriented and very bright astrologers who participate. And I want to have you mark your calendar, because next week we're going to have a wonderful seminar on solar returns. And friends, if you are not familiar with your solar return, Owner Dozer is going to be teaching this webinar. It's going to be a very, I left the link here for you, so check it out. Okay, I'm going to put that up for you as well now, because everyone should know what the theme is for their chart for the year. When I do readings, whenever I do readings, intelligenceagency.com, whenever I do readings, I think I speak for most astrologers, we will do what's called the transit charts, the natal charts, the solar return charts. And there's a beautiful formula for it, which will be, of course, discussed, and ways to work with your predictable pattern of the solar return chart. You can actually predict the pattern. If you know 1 year's solar return, you can predict where the sun is going to be placed on the mandala of the astrological wheel for subsequent years. So please check that out. It's going to be a great webinar. Hi, Vidal. Hello, Sue Marie. Hello, friends. Hi, Francia. Greetings to all of you. First time, welcome. A special welcome to the first timers. We just have a little conversation here. So my question for the week for you is, how are you navigating this extra dollop in the past 24 hours of Capricorn Earth energy to get things done? Because our Mercury retrograde has retrograded back into as far as the later degrees of Capricorn, right? So we've got the Venus in Capricorn. We've got Pluto in Capricorn. Now we have Mars in Capricorn. We have retrograde Mercury in Capricorn. And all of this Capricorn energy is asking us and giving us a pow to get productive. And I have found myself very productive in the past 24 hours. And then I just thought it was me. I thought I was just being a good little girl and getting my house back in order after the holidays. But what it was, I think there's this motivation, because in my chart, all this Capricorn energy is in my 4th house. So that's the question for the week. Have you noticed a shift in the past 24 to 48 hours when you are back on track? When you're back in the fast lane, when you're saying to yourself, self, it's time to get things accomplished in my life. I have a plan, I have a dream, I have a goal. I'm going to be very systematic and very systematically strategic to get things accomplished. That's some of the message of Capricorn. And with all that bottleneck of energy in Capricorn, I wonder if you've been feeling that. So that's one thing that's going on. We also have Ceres, the asteroid Ceres, beautiful Ceres, is right next to the North Node. I see Ceres as Mother Earth, and Ceres is the practical expression of the feminine, wanting to make sure we're eating right and we have things organized. And next to the North Node, to me, that represents a direction of wanting to get things in place, no matter what might happen out there. All of the extra added pressure, what's going on, of course, in the Ukraine, and the other geopolitical fears that we're being processing through our minds. At least we're to make sure we have stuff in our pantries. Right. I think that's the message of Ceres, making sure we're prepared with whatever comes our path, that we're going to be a lot more directed in that way. So dust off those projects that you've been putting on hold since last December 18th or so. And as Venus goes direct on Saturday, we are being inspired once again to get things accomplished in a new way. So it's kind of a wonky week, I think, also, because while we have this productivity with all this Capricorn energy, we also have the letting go cycle, which begins tomorrow. The balsamic phase, the time when the moon is losing light, and we're actually losing often a lot of our focus as we count down to the beginning of the new cycle, which is, of course, Aquarius, 12 degrees Aquarius on the 1st of February. And so there's a softness about the balsamic. We'll really feel that tomorrow. The balsamic cycle. And the moon is going to be dancing with the sun at 7 degrees of Sagittarius. That takes place at approximately 2:34 in the morning on Thursday. So if you are a late night person like I often am, again, I'm in Buffalo, New York, you might be actually feeling or experiencing that softening of the energy, because balsamic is about letting go, releasing, being trusting, being quiet, upping our meditations, upping our intuitions. So at this balsamic phase, 7 degrees of Sagittarius is the Sabian symbol of under the earth, there are elements that are being formed deep within. So within each of our psyches, we are having a new dream, a new vision deep within ourselves. And the pressure of the earth, or the pressure of your life, is adding to that sense of, I want something new in my life. I want to surrender during balsamic, surrender to the new reformulating of myself, of my dreams and of my wishes. So be aware of that. It's a very subtle thing. It happens again on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's you have the whole weekend to reflect on what I'm speaking about. But you want to identify where that 7 degrees of Sagittarius falls in your chart, because that's kind of triggering a new dream. And these new elements are being formed. And of course, underneath the surface of the earth, we have the crystals, we have the elements of silver and gold and everything else that's always simmering beneath the surface, ready, willing, and able to reposition themselves. So that's all of us where we find 7 degrees of Sagittarius. Okay, let's see. When's the time for change? Great question, Carrie. Well, this is what's so cool about astrology. I think you're just asking kind of a generic question, I think. But in Astrology 101, we like to start new things on the new cycle, right? And then we let go of things on the balsamic, which is happening for the rest of this week. But we are in a hot box of change, my dear friends. And we all have experienced that as long ago as January 12th of 2020, when we had the big change agents, Pluto and Saturn, kissing in the sky at 22 degrees of Capricorn. So that was a humongous change back then. We had in astrology, there's change and there's change. There's like the second hand ticking, that might be the moon. And then we have the bigger fingers of the planets making changes all around us at all times. And so in terms of starting something normally, and even farmers do this, right? They plant under the new cycle. So the short answer to your question, Carrie, is that when we have a new moon, we want to initiate something new. And then it's kind of like working with the cycles, working with the phases. Right now, all of us are still, as I'm speaking, real time, we're still under the phase of the quarter cycle. And the quarter cycle began on Tuesday, and the quarter cycle was communicating to us to get things accomplished. So this is kind of a mixed bag week, But as we get towards the weekend, we get quieter and more reflective, and we let go and we let God, we let go and we release, we let go and we trust. So that's the message of a balsamic. The moon is losing light. We're not able to see the moon more and more. We're in the dark of the moon at the news cycle. And at the dark, it's like we're feeling our way to create something new in our lives, right? We're not quite sure what it is. And then we get into crescent phase, which is next week. And then we add more excitement and more passion and so forth and so on. I love the lunar phases. And I've been working very strongly with them. And I work with my clients with them as well. If you haven't checked out my website, please do. It's Cassandra Joan Butler. I have lots of different offerings, including something called the Lunar Lights Club. But if you are curious about a fantastic webinar that's going to be through CIA, check out, please, the Solar Return Chart webinar. And that's coming up. And I put the link on there for you with Owner Dozer. And please understand that every time the sun returns to itself in your chart, sometimes people get confused about that, right? When you wish someone happy birthday, it might be, it's always, we usually celebrate our birthdays on the same day, right? But the sun only returns to a particular place in your chart, and that creates a chart, and that's the solar return chart. It may or not be the actual date that you celebrate your birthday. So Owner Dozer is going to be explaining that all with the CIA webinar called the Solar Return Chart. So I direct your attention to that. Okay, clear the space so you be empty to receive. Excellent, Louise. That's what we like to do during balsamic. That's what we're doing now as we count down to the new moon. Hi, Joshua. Everything is well with me. Hi, Cole. And let me know where you guys are coming in here from. All right. You're feeling the urge to get yourself organized and productive as soon as possible. Eugenia, that is what I was talking about a little earlier, all this configuration of the Capricorn energy just in the past 2 days. With Mars, which is focus and energy in Capricorn, Mercury is retrograded back into Capricorn. And of course, Venus and Pluto have been hanging out with Capricorn for a while. So there's been a lot of intensity, and so get a lot of things done in the next 24 hours, and then you may find yourself just releasing, relaxing. Saturday should be a very good day. Saturday, for most of us, might be a day when we feel like we get our bearings back. Because with the Venus retrograde, there's been that lot of push and pull and feeling like we're not quite stable with the tearing down of the old and the rebuilding of the new. So I think our Saturday will be a better day. And then circle the new moon, friends. This new moon that happens every year in Aquarius, and sometimes it happens in January, and this year it happens to fall on February 1st, coincides with the Chinese New Year. So it's the Lunar New Year of the tiger, the water tiger. If some of you might be experts in Chinese astrology, but there's a whole new lunar celebration that takes place, and it's congruent with the new moon in Aquarius each and every year. All right, so I want to get that out. So hello, you're welcome. Hi, Cole from Brooklyn. Okay, Eugenia, that's a great that's a great point. I want to keep that feeling all year round. I'll do a little personal sharing. Again, I've been doing astrology for a very long time. And I think that on a practical soul level, on a personal level, how we can use the astrology is becoming very mindful about how moments can change in a moment, right? I use my ephemeris, I use my programs, I use my own phone. I have an app in there. Many of you have this. But as you go about your daily schedule, and sometimes you may feel an overwhelming sense of joy, an overwhelming sense of whatever, fill in the emotion, anger, grief, anxiety, annoyance, check the ephemeris. And then in that moment, you might say, oh, well, Mars is affecting my sun. I didn't know that. It just moved over. It just had an ingress in Capricorn, for example, if you're Capricorn sun's early degrees, and why am I feeling so feisty and irritated? And when you see the planetary shifts in real time, I think the spiritual lesson is that you step back, you get that detachment, and you no longer are becoming a victim. That we live in a universe, and this is the beautiful gift of astrology, where it's always moving and changing and growing. And when you are aware that there's this planetary influence, however that might happen, whether it be a quantum field, and I believe it's more of a quantum field, it's not mechanistic. I don't think astrology is mechanistic a la Newtonian physics, like the rocks up there are directly sending signals to each of our little cells or souls. I think it's more of a quantum field. And when you're aware of that, then you have that detachment and you can have more in cosmic intelligence agency, right? Cosmic intelligence agency, cosmic intentional agency, making your intentions with the passing planets. We aren't puppets on a string, right? So I want to, if you're new to astrology, just give my 2 cents about how I view astrology as a spiritual practice, as a way of monitoring my emotions, monitoring my consciousness, my awareness. And so that's one use of the astrology. It's not all about setting dates up for a business beginning, or setting a date, say, for a wedding, or setting a date for cosmetic surgery. I just mentioned 2 things that we're not supposed to necessarily do when Venus is retrograde. So that's the other thing about Venus going direct on Saturday. Suppose you've been wanting to redecorate your home, or do your hair differently, go for a new haircut, or perhaps set a wedding date after Venus, which represents love, money, and beauty. When she goes direct, you'll have more clear vision about how you want to use that energy and go forward. Everything is energy. Exactly, Linnell. I think people are appreciating that, or feel that resonates with you. Eugenia, you're a fire snake. Oh, how interesting. I'm a fire monkey, by the way, Eugenia. Can you tell how I'm monkeying around? I jump from idea to idea. Okay, 16-degree Aquarius, Linnell. All right, so this new moon that's happening next week is going to be very pertinent for you, my dear. It's close enough to your moon. So it's almost like having a lunar return. You should do a lunar return. My dear Eugenia, what app do I use on my phone? Okay. This is, there's tons of apps out there, but I'm an old time astrologer that has used the Matrix software and Solar Fire, and I use Sirius and Kepler. I have all the programs because I have to, because this is what I do, right? So, all right, let's see if I can find my. It's free, by the way. It's Celeste, Celeste 1.2. Celeste, and then you can download the energy for the moment. Okay, so I'm going to do the weather right now. Again, this weather, they call it the weather, right? I'm coming in from Buffalo. We have applying moon sextile Mercury. It actually gives you the language of the astrology, so it's a great app. Okay, and hi, Francia. It is work, right? It's a language, my dear. By the way, I'm going to put down my website here. If you guys have not, I would love to connect with you in real time. I am doing a beginner's class, and I keep it very personal, but you could read about my beginner's class that's coming up on February 8th. I would never have a class start under a Mercury retrograde. But in any case, that's an app for your consideration. And I can't say enough about the CIA. Become a member. It's well worth your investment, because you're having access not just with one astrologer, but amazing array of astrologers across the planet who are giving you webinars and giving you. We have a journal. We have all sorts of articles and camaraderie, and I do my thing, and like Tara does her thing. We have new moon classes. We have the solar return class. It's a wonderful collection of agents. So if you're new to astrology, I would recommend the CIA number one. And okay, hope that helps. You're very much sharing. And I have put my website there because I am starting up a new beginners class. And it's going to be Zoom, of course. Everything's zooming by. All right, friends, let's take a look a little bit more at this balsamic cycle, and then I'm going to be doing some spiritual messages. If you're new here, because I'm a medium, I say a little prayer. I randomly select people with my finger. I give a little spiritual message, but you have to be in the room. In other words, sometimes people come and go, and that's fine. This is an informal gathering. I love seeing your names and where you're from, but you can come and go. But if you're going to want a spiritual message, please start saying, "I like a message." So when I close my eyes and start selecting people, I know that you would like me to work with you. So in summary, this week, starting about a last 24 hours, when we had this contingent of Capricorn energy focusing together, including the Mercury retrograde, including the Venus retrograde, it was pushing together to motivate us to get productive. So I see this as a productive week, a strategizing week, a week when we're trying to complete some things. But then tomorrow, the balsamic moon hits. And the balsamic is about letting go, releasing, aligning yourself with the spirit of your understanding, whatever you call that numinous thing that generically is called God. Allow yourself to be inspired and to receive information and to relax a little bit, because that's what balsamic is all about. The moon is hiding in the darkness, and to recover and to go into a new cycle on the 1st of February. So we're releasing and we're relaxing, and we're not judging ourselves for not being perfect and accomplishing all that we thought we would get to under the last new moon in Capricorn. Astrology teaches us we always have another chance. We always have a new beginning right around the corner. And that new beginning for all of us is in Aquarius, 12 degrees, next week on February 1st. All right, but in the meantime, as we're letting go, and with balsamic, 7 degrees of Sagittarius, this is what we might be experiencing. So for the Aries or Aries rising, you may be experiencing this week more of a relaxed sense of trusting your communication, being present to your own truth, and not worrying about how you might be judged or perceived when you are experiencing that presence of mind. So Aries, it's also a time to maybe make a trip, plan a trip, or expand yourself in some ways. For Taurus or Taurus rising, this balsamic time is the time for you to empower yourself, either financially or spiritually or emotionally. Dust off your old therapy books, your self-help books, Taurus, and remind yourself of all the things you already know, but you want to become a little bit more empowered by that information. For Gemini or Gemini rising, this energy is about the partner. So you're actually saying to yourself, I really appreciate X, Y, and Z about my significant other, and you are strongly activating your ability to love and share. That's for our Geminis. For Cancer or Cancer rising, this energy is about self-care. It's about health. It's about getting back into a pattern. But again, under balsamic, you're being gentle with yourself. No judgment allowed. If you're supposed to do X amounts of steps in a day and you didn't reach your goal, so what? Just go with the flow and reinvigorate your health care of yourself. Self-care, healthcare. For Leo or Leo rising, this energy is asking you to play a little bit, to find the joy and surrender to that little child within yourself, and to touch in with the inner child, the creative spirit that you have, and play a little bit more. For Virgo or Virgo rising, this energy is asking you to pay attention to your family, be the advocate for your family, or take care of your home, take care of your space, your environment, make home repairs, remodel. For Libra or Libra rising, this energy is about you communicating your truth again, but in this way also taking charge of your schedule, saying to yourself, you know what, I really do want to spend more time with this friend or spend more time by myself. Navigate what you want to do and when you want to do it, Libra. That's the message of this week's energy. For Scorpio or Scorpio rising, this energy is all about your abundance, your skill set, your money. And if you have a hobby that you would like to turn into perhaps another income stream, do it. But do it gently. It's balsamic. Allow the alignment with spirit to guide you. For Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising, this energy has all eyes on you. You are expressing yourself with greater confidence, a greater sense of self and charisma, and throw some humor in there too. That's our Sagittarius friends. They're very funny. For Capricorn or Capricorn rising, this energy is asking you, Caps, to rest a little bit. Rest, release, meditate, spend some time doing some dream work even. It's okay, because this past week is all been about productivity. After tomorrow, kind of rest, release, and let go. Aquarius or Aquarius rising, this energy is about you spending more time with friends, becoming the more social self and ingratiating yourself to your friends, making some plans, reaching out, I don't know, have a party. For Pisces or Pisces rising, all eyes for you with this balsamic time of the year is focus on the big picture. Dream the big dream for your career, Pisces. Don't be afraid to shoot for the stars. If you just hit the sun and the moon, so what? This is the time for Pisces to go big or go home with their career in a gentle, relaxing, balsamic way. All right. We've got all sorts of wonderful people in the room. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the thank yous. And now, I love decluttering things, Eugenia. I mean, you guys have no idea. I've been in the same home for at least 30 years. And truth be known, I've got some boxes down in my basement, which I haven't looked at for that long, right? So it's time. It's time. I'm not exactly a pat rack, but I've got so many books that could be a library. But that's one thing I'm loath to get rid of is my books, especially the astrology ones. All right, my friends, we're going to do some mediumistic readings. The only fair way I can think of to do this is to close my eyes, say my prayer, and just pick randomly with my fingers. But you have to be in the room and you have to say, I'd like a reading, okay? Because that's the only way I know that you're here and you'd like to do this. What to expect? I may get someone from spirit. I may get something more psychic. And I may get something that has a mixture of astrology in it too. I have no idea. I just trust. I align myself. I rest. I relax. And I trust the God of my understanding. So, dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love, with light, with truth, inspiration, and healing for the highest and best as I align myself with the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay. Cole Bradley, I come to you, Cole Bradley. Okay. My thumb did the walking, and so I'm with you, my friend. Okay. Cole, as I'm tuning into your energy, I'm made aware of, I'm not saying you do this, all right, but I'm getting sculpture. I'm getting the process of sculpting or working with clay or working with real earth matter, like if you're making a beautiful, I happen to have one right here close to me, like a beautiful earthenware bowl. I'm feeling with you that you are reshaping the creative expression of yourself. And it's almost like you look different as well. You're taking some interest in reinvigorating your physical self, whether this means losing weight or gaining weight or working out. It's like you are the sculptor of your life. That's the spirit message for you right now, that you're really digging deep within yourself And I like the balsamic Sabian symbol, elements being formed underneath the earth. You're digging, you're doing some psychotherapy, or you're doing some sort of counseling work. You're really maybe using astrology. I'm not sure what it is exactly, the tools you're using, but I'm feeling like you're reinvigorating yourself from the inside out. But there's also some physical manifestations as well. And Spirit is very well pleased with how you're doing this and why you're doing this. You're letting go. And I want to go back at the mid, I guess, what would you call it? The mid 2000s. I want to go back to like 2010 to 2012 for you. And that way, maybe a very difficult time when you felt like you were really losing yourself. There was some very difficult challenges around you in your life. And I want to remind you, you've come a long way, baby. All right. You've let go of bad habits, bad thinking, bad people, and you're like better equipped to reignite this new version of yourself. I'm getting strong Aries with you. I'm not sure where it is in your chart, but when we get into the Aries time of the year, and you started something in the year 2000, was like March 25th of the year 2000, and the Venus star point of last year, 2021, took you up a few more notches where you find the Aries in your chart. But this year, you're really igniting a plan, a process, a program, that by the time we get to May 10th of this year, when Jupiter goes into Aries, you're free to like unveil this new job or career. But first, you're working on yourself, Cole, and that's the message I want to give to you tonight. That you are really been working on yourself, but there's something physical about it as well, and getting healthier, stronger, etc. Does that make sense? You're saying, wow, does it make sense? I don't need to get feedback. Okay. All right. I hope it does make sense. Okay. Thank you, my dear friends. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Uh-huh. All right. I will do one more message. And again, I would love to work with all of you. You're always welcome to book a reading with me. I do the mediumship when I do my astrology as well. And thanks to the power of Zoom, I can talk to anyone around the globe, right? Makes a lot of sense. Okay, Cole, because you've been on the fast track. And I'm just feeling this new version of yourself and looking better and stronger. And I'm getting the lats and I'm getting the I'm also a massage therapist. All right, dear friends, one more message. You go for it, Cole. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words to be filled with love and light, truth, inspiration. Okay. Honest to God, I did this completely randomly. You know, my eyes were closed. I'm with you, Linnell. I'm with you, Linnell. Okay, Linnell. I'm with you, sweetie. Okay. Are you in the room? Linnell Hayes. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for being here, Anna, Debbie, Christina, Mary Lee. Your wife is a hypnotist. Oh, how fun. Okay, Linnell, I'm with you, sweetheart. If your wife's a hypnotist, Cole, ask her to watch the movie on Netflix called The Puppet Master. Okay. I put that on my Facebook. I was just intrigued with The Puppet Master, when good people fall under the spell of bad people. Right. And we know in hypnotism, because I've studied hypnotism, I do hypnotism as well. It's not my full-time gig, but when you repeat something over and over and over and over, even lies, people believe them. You guys watch The Puppet Master. It's a true documentary, true story of the UK's most notorious con man. Cool movie. All right. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love and light, truth, inspiration, and healing for Linnell's highest and best as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Amen. Linnell, I'm with you, my dear. And I'm in a, it's kind of an interesting image for you, Linnell. I'm in a, let me get a sip of water here. I wouldn't know. I'm not sure exactly how I would describe this. Like say you're on the coast of any coast, Australia's coast, the northeast, north, whatever. It's a coastal image of you're in a boat and you're going into a cave, a cavern, but you're still in the water. And you're in like this kayak and you're exploring this very kind of rocky coastal cavernous place. I mean, there's still light there. It's not an underground cave like you would find in West Virginia. I'm sure there's a technical name for this topographical image I'm getting, but there's water, there's a cavern, it's cutting into the wood or into the infrastructure of the rocks near the shoreline. And it's almost as if you're under the protection of this cove. Yes, that's it. It's a cove. You're under the protection of this cove and you're catching your breath, Linnell. And I think I'm getting the water and the rock because water represents emotions and the rock represents a sense of protection. And you can't really be seen. It's almost like you want to hide out in this cove. And Spirit is saying and reminding you that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to be hidden in this space because you've been out on the ocean. You've been out in the open and people kind of gravitate towards you. And they need you and they pull on your solar plexus. And man, it's not that you're weary and tired, but you're taking pain to become the hermit. I'm getting the hermit card in the tarot deck. And you're generating some new ideas of how to consciously bring some of your deep spirituality into awareness. I don't know if your mom is in spirit, Linnell, but I'm getting a very mother-like spirit coming through for you. And she's very maternal. And she kind of resonates even with the Virgin Mary mother. I mean, she's kind of a spiritual mother. So this might be a guide. I'm not sure because she's the image I'm getting is between a feminine protectress goddess and your own personal mom, but it's floating back and forth like this. It's your grandmother. Okay. All right. Things are still hidden. This does resonate with you. Thank you, Linnell. It's your grandmother. And so grandmother is not just holding you to her breast from spirit, but she's whispering words of encouragement and reminding you to rest and reminding you to pray. And she says you don't necessarily have to use the words of your ancestors because you are constantly praying. She's saying, pray without ceasing. Pray without ceasing. But you're already doing that. Because when you're in your kitchen or when you're driving or when you're taking a walk, when you're beholding a sunrise or sunset, you get caught up in the interconnectedness and the unity of this wonderful world we live in. And she's reminding you that you can't save the world, but in this way. And actually, your grandmother is very wise. She wants to give us this, all of us, this message. She's saying that some of us are very, very frustrated with what's going on in the world. And we want to go to the mountaintops and tell people to stop doing what they're doing. And she says, your grandmother says, and for all of us, just living a good life resonates and clouds and neutralizes the negativity. When we live a good life in the privacy of our cove or our cave or our home or our bedroom or our kitchen, we are actually sending waves of resonance out to the resonance energy out to the doomsday and manipulators out there, because there are manipulators out there that feed off fear. Quote from your grandmother, honey. Okay. All right. Ooh, I really felt her, Linnell. Your grandmother was quite a wise woman. She is like the crone of crones, right? She's a super nice woman with a lot of spiritual, open energy for the planet and for you. but stay in your cove, honey, and don't get frustrated that you think you're not doing more, because you are doing more. And she wants us all to hear that message. Maybe I need the message too, you know. And we all need the message. Okay. Thank you, Linnell's grandmother. My dear friends, thank you for being here. I only do 2 readings in my time with you. You're always welcome to book with me, but please don't forget Solar Return webinar with the CIA. I'm just one of many wonderful CIA agents, astrologers at your service. So I hope you do take that Solar Return class. And I do have to take care of my little neck of the woods here, right? And wish you good night and send you love and good bidings. And remember, new moon on February 1st, make a wish. We'll talk about it because we'll still be in the news cycle next Wednesday. We're going to talk about Aquarius and all the wonderful gifts of the Aquarius new moon. God bless and see you next week.